I learned this from reading the stories of addicted persons and paying attention, but I also learned it from Bruce Alexander, who is an addiction researcher who's done one of the most famous experiments in addiction medicine. Some of you are probably familiar with the rat park experiment. And Bruce Alexander was involved in doing research on drug addiction, and the way you did it is you do it with rats who were in Skinner boxes, which look like this on your left, and you administer drugs to them in different ways to try to discover different things. So they might have a drug available to them all day long in the Skinner box, and we discover that even if they have food and water available, many rats will drug themselves to death if drugs are available in a Skinner box. And Bruce Alexander, and this conclusion was used to talk about the enormous power of drugs with respect to other goods in human life. Bruce Alexander noticed that the Skinner box looked like a really miserable place to be. Doesn't look like a place a rat would normally hang out, so he had an idea. Let's keep everything else the same. We'll administer the same drugs as we do in the original experiment, but let's create a different environment for the rat. Let's create a rat park. And this is the original picture of the original rat park. He made a nice, big, spacious place. He put more than one rat in. Turns out rats like hanging out with each other. He put in hamster wheels, places for them to relax, and repeated the same experiments. And what he found is that almost no rats became addicted. They had things to do that rats want to do. They were capable of pursuing flourishing in the rat park in a way that no rat could do in the Skinner box. And the lesson from Bruce Alexander in the rat park is that the root causes of addiction are not the availability of drugs or drugs themselves. The root causes of addiction are the cages that we're trapped in. And so if you take anything away from the talk today, I want you to ask the question, what are the cages in our personal lives, in our families, in our societies, in our communities, in our churches that generate problems of addiction? And is there any reason to think that the war on drugs is addressing those cages, or is it instead often creating a whole other set of cages that isolate people, fragment them from their families and their communities?